the other goal at the elementary program, at the elementary level, is to see that they're able to write really good, clear sentence, or not sentence openers, but thesis statements, themes, introductory sentences, give their supporting evidence, and then clear what we call clinchers. That's I used a baseball analogy for clinchers, things that just tie up, seal the whole package. Oh, I think she's locked out. Thank you. And again, they can learn this at first by imitation of the existing paragraphs, but then they learn to do it on their own with topics that they're assigned in class. Okay, so when they're into late elementary, let's use Mr. Mizrahi's homeroom as an example. At that point, they've mastered the paragraph structure. They can now write essays. And so that's when they'll write things like the example I gave from literature. They know how to have a theme for a 5-paragraph essay. They know how to give thesis statements for their body paragraphs and have transition sentences and clinchers for each paragraph. And I see now as a writing teacher at the upper level, those who have been trained by Mrs. Battaglia's program, oh wow, they are just a breeze to teach because they know how to form an outline, they know what it means to have a theme, they know how to write from their outline, they know how to include dress-ups and flourishes on their writing, so their writing is very good. Okay. As they, at the end of the elementary program, they get into also more sophisticated stylistic techniques, things like alliteration, which I found they get completely carried away with. For some reason, that's a universally loved technique of children. So I just had someone come up with a title for an essay we're doing that was Michael's Magnificent Marvelous Moment, or so they love their alliteration. Similes and metaphors, idioms, they start to learn these techniques explicitly also. Okay, so when they get to me, and we start the year with essays. So by the time they're in junior high, I expect the essay format to be known to them, and then we're just refining their essays. As I said, at my stage, they have the basic structure down. So I get to spend my time really refining their writing on everything from basic grammar and glaring mistakes of that kind to really subtle issues of style. So depending on the level of need of the child, what sort of feedback they need, I can give it to them. So I always tell my kids at the beginning of the year, when I give your papers back, they will be bleeding, all of them. I don't care how good of a writer you are, your paper will be covered in red. That's my job. My job is whatever you know how to do to make your writing better. And I don't know if you saw their first writing assignments, but they did. They were covered in red. So that will always be true. They don't take it personally, doesn't damage their self-esteem. They appreciate it, they understand the purpose, and the finished product is much better. I wanted to give you an example. I claimed that at my stage I'm trying to give them rigorous thinking training along with their writing training. I wanted to give you an example of something we did in the last couple weeks. I got their first writing assignment and I saw a problem in it that was at first difficult for me to conceptually name. Our first assignment was what we learn in writing class. I thought I'd satisfy a double purpose there of talking about what we'd be doing in writing class while writing about it. So I found that we went through the whole process together, and we got to the point of having clear introductory statements and examples, and then those translated into paragraphs in which they would write almost anything about the example under the heading. So they use this as sort of a jumping off point. Oh, I said we learned, well, let me give you an example to concretize this. In writing class, we learn certain grammatical principles that are going to recur in our writing assignments. And one of them would be verb tenses. And then I'd get the paragraph back and they'd tell me all about verb tenses. So I thought, what are they misinterpreting here? Well, they just took that as, I need to talk about verb tenses, and they'd tell me anything about verb tenses rather than being clear that we're making a specific point about verb tenses related to what we learn in writing class. So I introduced to them what I call a theme filter. And I gave them this example. I said, imagine we were writing a paragraph about in which the theme was VanDamme Academy takes field trips related to the curriculum. Okay, that's our theme. VanDamme Academy takes field trips related to the curriculum. Give me examples. They all had examples for me. We saw To Kill a Mockingbird. Yes, that's an example. We went to medieval times. It's a little bit of a stretch, but yes, we went to medieval times. We went to the Getty Villa. Perfect, the Getty Villa. So we had our outline on the board. We take field trips related to the curriculum, To Kill a Mockingbird, Getty Villa, medieval times. And I said, okay, right in front of you right now, I'm going to write that paragraph. Listen and tell me whether this is good. VanDamme Academy takes field trips related to the curriculum. We went to see a staged performance of To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird is the story of a heroic attorney who defends a man who's been falsely accused of a crime. My cousin loves the book so much that she named her dog Atticus after the main character. We went to medieval times. We all stood in the lobby of the building to have a group picture, which is now in the office at school, and we saw blah, blah, blah. Okay, and I went on like that, and I said, what do you think? How was that paragraph? It came as a great surprise to me that in the two eldest groups, they said, it's pretty good, or they said, not enough detail, you didn't include dress up, okay. These sorts of things. And I took the opportunity to be very dramatic, and I said, that is a terrible paragraph. It's a disaster. It's an F. I don't ever want to see anything like that come out of you. And my semi-facetious way of putting it, which I can now use with them, is, what is my cousin's dog doing in this paragraph? How does that relate to our theme? Okay, and so then we went through each of the examples and used what I now call the theme filter. When you're looking at these examples and you're expressing your point, go back to the theme. Is everything you're saying directly related to the main point? Is it lending support to the main point? That is why these examples are here. Not, we came up with a structure, now we write anything we want to write about To Kill a Mockingbird. So that's the kind of thing. And now, if I get an assignment from them in which they've made that mistake, all I have to do is say, theme filter. And this is something that at one of our staff meetings we discussed as a staff, and so now it's a universal vocabulary we have in the school. And Mr. Lewis just yesterday was grading history papers, and he poked his head in my office and said, have you talked about theme filter with this class? And I said yes, so now he can go in and use that term with them. So that's the kind of thinking training they're getting with this writing. Okay, I'm going to take 5 more minutes and just describe, I want to describe to you the essay writing process for us. Some of you might actually be able to use this.